Okay, guys, this story is gonna make people, you know, upset, but it's happening again in America when police officers shoot and kill two unarmed black men. And it's happened in the Super Bowl. That's right, Atlanta, Georgia. Um, this article comes from the Black Detour team. It says two black Atlanta men fatally shot by police are allegedly being ignored because the city is prepared for the Super Bowl. Um, and this is really according to NBC News. With this part right here, that says two black Atlanta families are grieving the loss of their two sons, Jimmy Atchinson and D'ettrick Griffin. Both died by the hands of the police within a week of each other, according to NBC News. Atchinson's aunt, Tammy Featherstone, claims her nephew's death was put on the back burner because of the Super Bowl. The family attorney, Tanya Miller, believes Atchinson's death should be taking priority the football game this coming Sunday. It shouldn't be forgotten that the Super Bowl happened just before the Super Bowl at a time when people have been seeing football as a symbol of protest in light of Colin Kaepernick bringing attention to police brutality and injustice, Miller said. However, a police spokesman denied the claims. Atchison, who was only 21 years old, died on January 22nd after a federal task force tried to arrest him for an armed robbery warrant. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported Atchison encountered the officers and attempted to flee the scene. FBI spokesman Kevin Rolson said he jumped out of the window of one of the apartments, jumped down a couple of floors. That was a foot chase that ensued into another apartment building. That's where the suspect was confronted by a task force officer on the Atlanta Metro Major Offender Task Force, and the suspect was eventually shot and killed. However, Atchinson's family believes the father of two was shot in the face while he was hiding in the closet and was unarmed. An autopsy was performed to determine how he died. The incident is currently under investigation, and the officer who killed Atchison has not been identified and is currently on leave. Yeah, okay. Same old thing. Okay, this is another incident, and this happened a week before that previous incident that I told you about. Griffin died on January 15th after he allegedly tried to steal a plainclothes officer's car at a gas station, according to WXIA. The officer fired his firearm at the 18-year-old tried to drive away. Griffin's family also believed he was unarmed. Just because this officer was upset that somebody may have offended him or jumped in his car or whatever actually occurred, we see no grounds for the officer to have emptied his gun into the body of D'ettrick Griffin, said family attorney Jonathan Hibbert. Griffin's father, Courtney Griffin, said he was unable to see his son until the morning after his death, even though he rushed to the scene. I just got a phone call that said my son was up the street and was shot by a cop, Griffin said. I got up, I called his mom, and my first thought was just get there. I got to the scene, and I was just 2 minutes away. I was asked all the officers. I showed them pictures of my son. They kept saying, we can't tell you, we don't know. I went around the whole block asking different officers, and they never told me. For 4 hours, they never told me. My son was sitting in the cold for 4 hours, dead for 4 hours, and nothing. It took my soul away from me. I want to stop you right there. What does this article remind you of? Mike Brown, right? When you notice that, the police officer that shot and killed Mike Brown, they left that body there more than 4 hours. So this is similar to the Mike Brown case, but I'm going to continue on. Griffin's mother said her son was 4 months away from graduating high school and had plans to be an aviation mechanic. The death is currently being investigated by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Mothers of the movement mentioned Atchinson's death in the statement, declining Jermaine Dupri's invitation to the Super Bowl live event. Last year, former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick lost his job for taking a knee of peaceful protest against police brutality in black communities. The statement reads, "It is only January 30th, 2019, and there have already been 56 people killed by police in America, including 21-year-old Jimmy Atchinson in historic Southwest Atlanta. The father of two was shot in the face. He was unarmed." Ladies and gentlemen, why aren't we surprised? Why aren't we surprised that two young black men that was fatally killed by police? And all the Atlanta people and the media focus on is the damn Super Bowl. And we have an incident going on in Atlanta. See, this is why Colin Kaepernick took a damn knee 3 years ago. This is why. Because of incidents like this. And they ignore it, trying to sweep it under the rug because, guess what? The Super Bowl. Not one, but two unarmed young black males brutally murdered by the hands of the police. And people still wanted to know what happened to them. And again, if it wasn't for Taria Reigns, if it wasn't for NBC News, if it wasn't for the Black Detour team with this article, we wouldn't know nothing about this case. And see, all of a sudden, you see they're still quiet about this case because they don't want to ruin or embarrass by the city that been hosting the Super Bowl in Atlanta. I think the only time there's been an incident in the Super Bowl in Atlanta with the Ray Lewis case. Remember that? When Ray Lewis was involved and shot and killed another black man in the streets of Atlanta in that Super Bowl. And now this incident. See, ladies and gentlemen, when is it going to take for people to understand that we are being targets by the hands of the police, by vigilantes, and by white neighbors, etc., that has hate in their hearts to do what they do? And unfortunately, again, Taria Reigns, I'm sending a shout out to you because I wouldn't even know about this case as well. So, it's saddened that you black YouTubers have to report this story that the mainstream media either ignore it or refuse to report it. So my thoughts and prayers goes to the Jimmy Atchinson and D'ettrick Griffin's families. I like to dedicate my condolences to the Atchison and Griffin's families for these tragedies that happened a week apart, 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, and the media is still not going to report it. Damn shame. But the thing of it is that this is not going to change when they can do what they do and think they can get away with it. Leave a comment, tell me what you think about this article. Share this video. Subscribe my YouTube channel. Subscribe my reaction channel. And subscribe my Black Junction channel for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.